Hi guys, it's your girl Miss Keashea, your favorite jazzy auntie, and I'm here to do a do-over. I had presented a live video um, the other day, and to my knowledge, I did not know that once the once the live was interrupted, that the sound had ended, so I had to scrap that whole video. So, once again, if you see me talking with a lisp, mispronouncing words, struggling to pronounce some words, that's because I got braces and I'm just trying to get adjusted to them. So I was coming because I'm celebrating some positive milestones that I have going on right now in my life. And I said that I wanted to put a face and a name to church hurt, family hurt, as well as going through a divorce from a minister. This past year, it was October the 25th of this year that I have celebrated 1 year of just ultimately, leaving um, my ex-husband. And it was a difficult time for me. It was very stressful. Um, I was at a very low point, very stressed, very low. I felt embarrassed. Um, One, because I never saw myself getting a divorce. And just now, looking back on everything, realizing that I gave so much of myself out and I wasn't receiving anything in, ultimately cost cost me pretty much everything. Um, and I think the worst part about it for me was, um, I want to say that I didn't marry for convenience. I didn't marry because I was desperate. I didn't um, marry for money. Um, I thought, well, I know for myself, I loved the person and I was willing to sacrifice the comfortable lifestyle that I had built for myself. And someone presented themselves as a package that was appealing to me, and I thought that we both were on the same mindset. We both love God and within the church. So I was like submissive. I did everything within my power to show the person that, oh yeah, I'm gonna ride or die. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna support you through everything. And ultimately, I gave up my life where I was and ultimately moved to Nashville um, with my husband at our home. And when I moved to Nashville, I didn't have any friends. I didn't know anybody. All of my friends and those that were really close to me, they were in Murfreesboro, where I had came from. And I had two vehicles, a house full of, or apartment, 2 bedroom, two full bath apartment, full furniture. Everything was paid for. Both my cars were paid for. And I ultimately moved into the house like right before we got married. So, um, And it was okay. At first, I had to put, me myself, I put a lot of work into the house, from pulling carpet, renovating, painting, you know, suggesting things that we do to upgrade the home because it definitely needed it. And before getting married, I was always just had me a hustle. I had a very comfortable life, but once I moved to Nashville, moved with my husband, that means I took on his lifestyle and everything that he had going on, and I no longer was getting paid for the things that he ultimately just wanted, that I was just giving away. You know, I was giving out so much, but nothing was coming in. So we began to go to. He had left one organization because they made changes that he wasn't comfortable with, and I told him that I didn't feel comfortable there because, you know, when you've been into church, you have discernment. You know, like, I'm a real energy person. So when I walk into the room, when walk around a crowd or by someone, I feel that energy because I have empathy um, for all people. I don't care what you look like, your social status, you know, where you live, money. That doesn't like draw me to anybody. I feed off of energy. And so at first he was like, well, you just overthinking. And I said, well, would you please just sit back and observe? That way, you know, you will see the things that I'm experiencing. And he did. And we ultimately left that organization. He said that he wanted to go to his home church. And I was like, okay, I'm supportive. And he told me whatever he wanted to do, I supported him. And we ultimately went to this new church and, you know, introduced. And me, I've always been the type, when I go into a sanctuary, um, I walk around and greet people once I've been there for a while and get to know people, and people are coming up and interacting with me. And every Sunday, you know, that was my thing after Sunday school. Just going around, you know, hugging people, asking them how they doing, you know, checking on people. That's just me. That's my personality. But I began to notice the negative energy, the shoe showing, and just the vibes were off. And once again, I'm telling my husband, you know, well, I don't want to be around this certain individual because they're trying to hold me back from, you know, following my energy, following my spirit to look after and care for somebody that I may see in need, you know. And he was like, well, I want you to sit by them. And I was like, I don't want to be around that person. It's just so negative. All they doing is talking, you know, about people and stuff. And that's not me. My family, anybody that has been around me will tell you I'm not on the phone gossiping. He said, she said. That's just not my thing. I just don't do it. I'm not a big phone person. That I'm not, never have been like a phone person. And when I kept telling my husband that I didn't feel comfortable and that they're trying to take me out of my natural character of caring for people within the church that I felt were in need and I empathized with, it really made me feel some type of way. And I told him, I was like, in all the years, and I'm 51, all the years of me being in the church, I never experienced the type of drama, backbite, the type of foolishness that I experienced in those two organizations. I've never seen nothing like that. And mind you, it probably went on, but I just wasn't aware of it because I would go in, worship, and then I'm out. I didn't form social circles outside, of the church. So therefore, my husband is like, well, I want you to sit there, not because I feel like you can learn something from them, but perhaps they can learn something from you. And it pained me, it hurt me. I struggled with that. And I'm like, do you know how much grace one has to have to continuously every week put yourself in a negative environment surrounded by the whole organization? I won't say the whole organization, but you know how organizations have cliques and stuff. And I never experienced that church clique. I never experienced that before. And so once I just noticed that, the cliques are intentionally and purposely doing things to, I guess, antagonize me or hurt me, then I really didn't want to go. I didn't want to be in the environment. Now, I would still show up if they had a function, I would show up. And then if he wasn't there, if my husband wasn't there, then I would leave. Um, and I had one of the ministers say, well, why do why you always, yeah, you show up, but why do you leave? I said, because that's my prerogative to. But if I feel a negative energy, if I don't feel comfortable, I am a flight person. I'm leaving. If I do not feel comfortable in any situation, I'm out of there. And I don't want to be around or affiliated with those type of people because that's not my energy. That's not my spirit. And so, and I'm sick trying to support, and it's just so much to this. And I didn't expect, and I didn't want, never wanted for all the no attention on me. I am a sit in the back, sit off in the corner type of person. I'm not trying to draw any attention to me. I'm fine with sitting in the back. I don't want to be recognized or anything like that. Um, but yet still I'm trying to support my husband, but it just got to a point where I just became sick, and I just told my husband that I no longer was going because an incident happened, was like the last straw for me. And the lady who was considered the first lady um, got loud with me. She was sitting in the pulpit, and baby, the old Miss Keishea was way out. I had to tell her, peace be still, and walk up out of there. And when I left out that day, I told my husband I'd never go back again. I don't give a damn what they got going on. I would never go back again, and I did not. Um, and it was hurtful, and and I would tell my husband, I was like, oh yeah, they having meetings, they showing, they doing this, and then he would see it, he would realize it, and he was like, you right. He was like, okay, yeah, I see it. And I'm like, baby, don't play, I don't play about my energy, about my discernment. Mm-mm. It ain't never failed me. It has never, never, never failed me. And a lot of people may wonder, okay, well, why did we choose to get a divorce? After the first year of marriage and me recognizing him for what it was, um, the lies started coming out. He was my first husband, my first time ever being married. I am his second wife. Um, we had a conversation, and we had decided that we were going to stick it out. And I really tried. I'm going with him to the doctor to find out what's going on with him. And ultimately, things just started going downhill. And so, me, I've always been a very responsible person when it comes down to my bills, my credit. I've always been a very, very responsible person. And then I just began to see a pattern in him that I did not like and that I felt was foolish. And he wasn't making foolish mistakes um, every now and then. It was like frequent, and it had to do with money. He would get involved in things, and he would lose all this money, and then he would come to me and be like, "Oh, I need you to catch up." And I'm like, "Huh?" He's like, "Yeah, I need you to have my back." Now he's strutting around like he got it going on, all these kind of things, and I'm knowing that without me, a lot of stuff would not even be functioning. I was just in the bag, just letting him shine, do his thing, and it just got to a point where certain people in his family, we would go around, not that often. I wouldn't go around because I love being by myself. I love being by myself. I'm so content with being by myself. That's where all my creative juices come from. Me just, having a long time, stress free, drama free. That's the way I like it. And I love myself enough that I can be by myself. I don't have to have people around me all the time. And so the foolishness just kept going on. I got to a point where I didn't want to be even around his family, the members that I were around, because, like I said, I was just giving, 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 and wasn't getting anything in return. And it just got to be overwhelming. And the straw that broke the camel's back, why I just told him I couldn't do it anymore, that I wanted a divorce, is when it had something to do with the organization and the foolishness that they had going on. Um, I felt it didn't line up with my spirit and with my energy, and I told him that I could no longer support him in any of the foolishness. Um, that I think it was best. I popped out. Those who may know me or whatever, I did go on make a Facebook live video talking, cursing him out. Now, baby, I don't make it a habit to cuss all the time, and I don't just go off on people just to go off on people. But baby, when I cuss and when I go off, I'm gonna make it count. Believe me, I'm gonna make it count, baby. And it was like one Sunday, I had put so much money into the house, renovating both bathrooms, renovating the kitchen, trying to paint. He never not once did anything and would get angry. He didn't want me spending my money on things for the house because he wanted me to continue to support the foolishness that he had going on. And it was just a very selfish thing, and nobody knew because I didn't confide in my mom. I didn't run to anybody. I didn't even tell my son. My son was not made aware of the things until after the fact. But he 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 got very upset, and it was on a Sunday, and I had been painting in one of the spare bedrooms. I'm up 4 o'clock in the morning painting, and then I'm still having him a meal out for him when he get home from work, everything cleaned up, because he had been coming home kicking stuff. You need to clean up this mess. You got stuff everywhere. I'm like, are you see me working. It's not everywhere. You can get around and you're not helping me. But ultimately, I was just like, I'm being taken advantage of. And he realizes that he can't just tell me anything and it's okay. And I had been going back and forth to the doctor. I kept having health issues. Um, and once I made the Facebook Live video showing of me, I was going off, baby. I cussed him out from the upstairs to the downstairs. He's sitting there. Let me tell you what happened. I have been painting. I'm downstairs making coffee. He comes down the stairs with his suit on. He got ready to go to church. It's funny now. But it wasn't funny then because, baby, I was highly pissed off and ticked off. He started bragging to me about his $800 suit. He got on his $200 Stacey Adams shoes, and he done got him a new pinky ring. Baby, I was spending my money at the Home Depot trying to fix up our house, and when he just kept saying, oh yeah, how you like my new suit? Baby, that struck a nerve that was buried so deep inside me, I had to go off. So then he just sitting there. So then I'm like, yeah, I'm lying because, we've had arguments before, but it was never that heated. But I knew that I was at the end of my ropes with that because it was on top of the foolish things that he would get involved in, that I would always have to come to the rescue, or him trying to present himself as one thing, like he got this going on, when in fact it was me. If it wouldn't be for me contributing, you wouldn't be able to do all that. So, baby, I popped off and I went off a few times, and I was on live. I talked about everybody from the first organization, church organization, to the second. I talked about him. Baby, I went off. And like, nobody knows what goes on in somebody's house. But like I said, I'm coming for. At first, I was ashamed and embarrassed, baby. I'm not. Because I realized when I made that live video and so many people on Facebook were sending me messages like, oh, I'm going through the same thing. I don't know what to do. Not only women, but it's men as well. But I was just at a point, that was just the last straw for me. I was at my wit's end. And the thing is, after that Sunday, he didn't go to church because I went off. Gone on. Baby, I cussed him from the outside back to the inside, baby. But he didn't go to church that day. And after I cussed and went off that Sunday, I never raised my voice at him again. I never popped off. I never said anything else other than, what do we need to do as far as a divorce? Because once again, I'm his second wife, and this was my first marriage. And getting all of that stress and anger and frustration off of me and out of my chest, and realizing, yes, we are agreeing that to divorce is definitely irreconcilable on my part, and our divorce papers are filed, even though he presented them. He said that he was going to present the papers and he would pay for it. And so, and he cited, there's two things on our divorce while we're getting a divorce, that I said we have irreconcilable differences. That's true, because I was fed up. And the second thing is because I talked about his family. Yeah. So anyway, and whatever attorney that he had, he started recording me at some point in the live video when I was popping off. And of course, he only shared that portion. He didn't divulge everything else that was going on. Okay. So, fast forward, I was sick, dealing with lupus flare, just dealing with health issues. I was still, going back and forth to the doctor. I mean, sleeping in a separate bedroom. And it got to the point where every day he was antagonizing me, bringing me these papers, telling me just to sign these papers. He was not telling me anything. So I'm sick, and all of a sudden I told you I had two cars. The Mustang that I have is an older car. I had it since 2003. My son drove it all through high school. 4 years my son was in the military. I kept that car. While my son got out the military, the car was just sitting in the yard. It wasn't nothing wrong with it. Well, he decides that some girl on his job needed the car. Yeah. So he took the car on his job. Now we decided we're gonna get a divorce. I'm just still, I'm just trying to make sure that I'm okay. Next thing I know, he's like, just sign the title, so and so here to pick up a car. I don't know who has the car. I do not know who has the car. And before that, I had told him to tell his daughter to come get the car and let his granddaughter drive the car, or else she can have it, just get it out of my name. He got upset. He's like, no, you ain't giving them nothing. So that led up to some girl on his job wanted the car or needed the car. Ultimately, some man and his wife wanted the car, but I don't know who got the car. Because, like I said, I was on a lot of medications and in the bed for the most part. And then it got to the point where he was antagonizing me every day throughout the day to sign papers for what he wanted. Um, I didn't do it. And it got to the point where I had to start videotaping myself. Anytime he came to my door, I would lock myself in the room. I would tell him, just get out, leave me alone. He's like just trying to do whatever to provoke me to sign papers. And I can't give away too much details because the divorce is still pending. But ultimately, someone referred me to an attorney. I went, paid. The woman said it was three of us on the phone. I went and paid her on August the 20th, 2021. I went and paid her. She was like, it's gonna be $2,300. I went and paid her $2,300 cash. I'm feeling good. So, and on the 31st, 2020, I turned 50. I had told my ex, I said, I'm gonna take me a solo trip for my birthday. I do not, want to invite you. This is gonna be my trip to symbolize me healing and accepting the fact that yes, we're getting divorced. And I always traveled before. Before I met him, I've been everywhere. So, and he was like, yeah, okay. I gave him my whole itinerary, where I was going to be staying, things, that I had going on. And I had asked him to would he take me to the airport, right? And he told me I better call an Uber. He said I could call an Uber, y'all, to take me to the airport. And I was like, if I get me a flight, early in the morning on your way to work, you could just drop me off, you know, at the airport. He told me I better call me an Uber. I said, okay. So what I did was ultimately just drove my car, parked it in the lot, and went on about my business. They had such a wonderful time. And then came back and um, when I was going to New York for my birthday, he didn't call me until way late the night of my birthday. And then he was like, "Oh, would you happen to have my information?" Because before I left, he said that he thought that his brother had taken his phone because he picked up his brother to go clean his office building. and we kept calling the phone. I had to let him use my phone to call his daughter, see what was going on. But he said that he felt like it was his brother, whoever he went picked up, that took his phone. So they didn't stop my trip or anything like that. He had an extra phone, and I guess he went and got that situated. But anyway, when I came back from New York, baby, I felt like a whole new person. I felt great, and like he was just there to antagonize me, and which I have videos showing where he was antagonizing me, where he's trying to bribe me, all this here kind of stuff, because he's like, oh well, I just give you $5,000 and you go on, and I'm like, that's not enough. That is not going to help me. What about these bills that I have occurred trying to fix up your house? Now, I don't want the house. I don't want the house. You can have the house if you need somewhere to stay, but I definitely don't want the house. Um, but he lied to me, and me being naive with my first marriage, I did not know the ins and outs. But it's like from the day you get married to the time you get divorced, if the house requires any equity within that time, then you're entitled to a portion of that. Now that I know. Um, and my attorney was like wanting to get him out. So at the time, the attorney that I had, her name was attorney Cheryl D. Glenn. She's in Nashville, Tennessee. So for a whole year, this lady has been gaslighting me. I got all the emails, all this kind of stuff, going back and forth with her about what is going on with my case. Well, at the time when I'm reaching out to her about my case, asking details, she's running for a council person. She's got her sorority things going on. And I look up and I see her on the news. So I'm calling her email, ma'am, what is going on with my case? You guys, for a whole year up until August of this year, um, all I know is that she filed one piece of paper. But my thing, what I ultimately end up doing, is like I couldn't rest. I knew that ethically she was not doing the right thing. She was gaslighting me. So what did I do? I decided to report her to the Board of Responsibilities. And I had to send them all my information. And when they sent me a letter saying that they were going to investigate. It was June of this year. They sent me the letter saying that they were going to investigate what was going on. So I think it was July. Yeah, it was July the last time that I spoke with her. No, no. It was in July when I talked to her, and she said that, well, she told my son. My son called her to ask her about my case. And she said, oh, your mama done reported me. I thought she had found another attorney. But lady, you still ain't called me. You ain't saying nothing. You haven't said, okay, Miss Keishea, I'm going to send you your money back. I'm going to work with you. Anything. And every time we would talk on the phone or email, I would forward it to the investigator, in which she knew. So I would say 2 weeks in September, she just kept calling, and she's like, oh, I didn't realize it been that long, for your case. And can you catch me up to date? Ma'am, you is the attorney. So I'm just steady going on through, listening to her, and then ultimately, um, I was seeking, I guess, guidance from another attorney, where I went and had like a meeting just to ask, what should I do? Should I fire Cheryl Gwen and hire somebody else, or should I just keep with her because she's still telling me, oh yeah, I'm gonna see it through and all this kind of stuff? But in fact, she wasn't doing anything. She was just on the news every time you turn around. And this is not for those of you that are listening, viewing. sharing or whatever. This is not defamation towards attorney Cheryl D. Gwen. This is not a witch hunt towards her. I'm sharing you my experience with her. I would not refer her to give slop to pigs. And that's my perspective in dealing with her. And now knowing that she has that reputation of slack, I would not, and the person that referred her had not used her legal services for divorce, and they did not know, and they often call, which we're still friends and in contact, and they always apologize, and I tell them it's not their fault. That's her ethical responsibility, and she has not done anything. So when I had oh, let me go. I ended up moving out the house, right? So I moved away. Um, I ended up sleeping on the air mattress for about a month. I was still sick, and I'm trying to make, I was having lupus flare, going to the doctor. I fell into a deep, like, depression. I was sick. I know for 6 months I just cried, cried, cried up until I was able to get into therapy. And I am with the Be Made Well Center for therapy, and I do virtual therapy twice a month. So that has helped me, and just having my son, my grandbaby around, that has helped me as well. But I will tell you, I'm looking at how my husband tried to manipulate me, mistreated me. This man of God, um, just ultimately just tried to fuck over me. And I'm like, Mister, you ain't love me? No, you couldn't. All for the sake you're listening to somebody outside of our house. You trying to portray this image for the public. Now you know what's really going on if Miss Keishea don't play. Are you sure you want to do this? Okay. And I will say this, sometimes you gotta play a fool to show the fool that you ain't no fool. Sometimes you have to play the fool to show the fool that you ain't no fool. So, dealing with this attorney, Cheryl Gwen, got braces, remember. Dealing with her, when I tell you it was frustrating, I hated to hear her voice. I hated if she emailed me or called me. I would cringe. It would make me sick to my stomach because, especially when I know she's lying. But my thing was, I'm just reporting everything to the investigator. And I'm letting you feel like you gaslighting me? Okay, we'll see. And there's always somebody above them, you know. And so I request, once I went and had the consultation with a new attorney, this lady turned around. I told her about, Cheryl Gwen, and I'm not gonna say what was said, but she was able to turn around and pull up information telling me that all Cheryl Gwen did in a whole year was file one piece of paper. She had done nothing on the case. And I showed her all the papers that Cheryl Gwen wanted me to get notarized that looked like a seventh grader had put together. I didn't. And I sent back to her telling her to redo the paperwork and that I was not going to get it notarized. But ultimately, I hired a new attorney at Middle Tennessee Law, and I love her to death. She has a wonderful assistant that has been able to help me. So I requested my money back from Cheryl Gwen. So she was like, I will take out my retainer fee. And I'm like, that's not what you said. Did you forget that there were three of us on the phone that day? And I told her enough of the foolishness and that she know better, and I told her if she wants to try me, to go right on ahead, to go on ahead, but may the Lord have mercy on her. And I left it like that, and I have not contacted her since. So then she sent me an email back, and she only gave me back $1,800. And so I'm like, okay, so she kept $500 for what? Just filed on a piece of paper because she had not done anything in this year. And within that 10 minutes of me talking with a new attorney, she was able to tell me stuff about my divorce that I didn't even know. Not only has my ex-husband's, his attorney, she removed herself from the case. Why she removed herself, I don't know. Maybe you think it's because of the videos that I have. I don't know why she removed herself from the case, and he has had to hire a new attorney. And the judge in which Cheryl Gwen said that we would be going in front of, the man is deceased. There's a new judge. So it was just continuous lies. So once I retained this second attorney, I happily typed Cheryl Gwen email telling her her services are no longer needed, and typed out why, and I also forwarded to the investigator. And she said she was going to give me an invoice for what the $500, why she kept the $500, or what was what. I still have yet today and to receive an invoice. And what today's October, no, November, no, is it October? No, November. I can't think. It is November the 4th. So this is November the 4th. I still have not got an invoice for what she done. So we all know she she she's a pathological liar. And once again, I say this is not defamation towards her. This is my truth, my experience with her. This is not a witch hunt. I'm telling you my experience. Honey, if you're going through a divorce and you're in the Nashville, Tennessee surrounding areas, please do not attempt, hire, or contact attorney Cheryl D. Gwen. Absolutely not. Not for no, baby. No, ma'am. She's not the one. She's not the one. No, she's not the one through the 10. She, baby, like I said, I will not let her give slop to pigs. Yeah, my perspective. So anyway, the exciting news is I'm feeling better. I'm healthy. I've been doing the work with my therapist. From July to September, I was having to do iron infusion treatments every week. Baby, Miss Keashea done been going through. And so when the videos that I created with music and creating the little videos here for social media, that has also been my therapy, my outlet, and my reassurance that, okay, Keashea, you got this. So what, you're getting divorced. So what? Do you know how bad of a person you have to be for two organizations to purposely and intentionally form cliques and disassociate you from different things? And I don't even know these people, and not because I did anything. All I did was show up as Keishea Walker and be myself. Why don't know me? They don't know me, and I don't know them. And it's only one or two people outside of those organizations that I saw rarely, and I'm always by myself. If he and I were together, then I was mostly by myself. But needless to say, I know that I done what I needed to do in the marriage, in the organization or whatever, and I'm over. At first I was angry, and I just still, just in disbelief. I'm like, people that call themselves Christian and stuff like that, don't call me no Christian. I'm spiritual. Now, Christians do not have a good history. And this bishop told me, This bishop told me, he said some of the worst people he's ever met in the world said they were Christians. Sir, excuse me? You're like, absolutely. And I'm like, honey, I cannot. Once you there and you get involved and you see stuff hands on, then you're like, wow, I didn't know this was going on. But as long as you just coming and going in and out, you'll be all right. But once you start getting involved, baby, get ready. Get ready. And every time they ask him for money, no, baby, I ain't gonna be able to do it. Mm-mm. I ain't gonna be able to do it. And I heard this man say, do you care if the church lights get cut off? Hell no. I don't care if they cut the church lights off. I'm trying to keep mine on. What the hell do I care? That's the building that y'all showing up to 1 or 2 times a week. Baby, I got the hell lights at home to cook while I bathe and get ready to go to work or whatever. Absolutely not. I don't care. That's God's house. Okay, let God make sure them lights at the church house stay on. Miss Keashea. Nope. Mm-mm. Nope. And I don't want to be bitter like some of the people that I experienced there. I definitely do not want to be bitter, but my spirit, my energy won't let me be bitter. I forgive all those who have purposely and intentionally tried to hurt me or bring me down in some type of way. Try to say I'm crazy. I'm crazy for speaking the truth. You know that's the first thing they say. And I think somebody told me recently that the reason why they feel that people were standoffish with me or, did those things is because they seen the energy that I possess. They saw the positive vibes that I was giving, and that is something that they couldn't give. So they'd rather tear it down than embrace it and be a part of it. They rather tear the goodness down. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy to me. That is crazy to me. If you win, sis, bro, I try to support people I'm liking. I try to like people page, send them encouragement, on all social media and stuff. If they have no comments and stuff, I try to embrace everybody. Like I said, I empathize with everybody, and I'm on a healing journey. And what I said on the previous videos that I got me a job. Your girl is working. I got my braces, and which is the Invisalign braces. My dentist, I've been with her almost 10 years, and she's helping me to achieve the smile that I want. But now, even like with my family, I was always a giver, 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 and I will always be the one that everybody call. And I just got to a point, baby, I even cussed and went off on them. And it's not that I hate them, but it's just enough is enough. Even with my son and his little family, right now it is a me time. I'm being selfish. I'm doing whatever it is that I want to do. Um, like making my little videos and stuff, present stuff to you guys, but also put a face and a name to church hurt, divorce from a minister, and family hurt and disappointments. And I appreciate everyone that does show me support. Those that do call and text to check on me. I am so grateful, and I'm just doing this and sharing my experience with you guys in hopes that it will help someone else. I definitely don't want anyone else to go through all the drama, all the foolishness that I've had to go through. And I still in shock that I went through it myself. But guess what? I'm here, I'm thriving, and it has been one hell of an experience and an awakening to me. So, but I'm gonna go. If y'all have any questions or anything, you can share this. I hope that it does encourage someone. Remember to always be careful, be safe, but most important, just be you. And I hope to see you soon. Bye.